What's cracking, Jump Nation family? It's your boy Hiroshi S, aka the Jump Rope Coach. In tonight's episode, I've got 5 cool tips on how you can get the most out of your skipping rope, get them lasting for a super long time, and make sure that you fly boss for a lifetime. So if that sounds cool to you, make sure you stick around after that intro and we're gonna get it as always. Peace.
And I'm like, hello, it's good to finally let go. I ain't worried about a thing. I just like to keep it mellow. Yeah, I like to keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. I smoke and keep it mellow. I drink and keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow. Every day I keep it mellow.
Yes guys, welcome back. So this is a very requested video for me right now. A lot of you have been asking about how I look after my ropes, any kind of rope care, things that I'm doing, and how I prevent any breaks or snaps. Because to be honest with you guys, with my ropes in the last 2.5 years that I've been using them, hand on heart, I have never ever snapped or broken any of my ropes. And I believe that kind of 5 years of experience of skipping, I've learned a lot of cool things during that kind of journey. And I used to get through ropes left, right, and center. And I know a lot of you out there kind of on your journey as well have probably broken a rope or two, and it's just a few things that you really need to think about when it comes to skipping. And I've always said it, if you look after your rope looks after you. And the fact that I've been able to kind of go this many years without breaking a rope just shows that I have a little bit of experience and knowledge around this subject. But there is a disclaimer on this, peeps. Like, rope breaks or snaps can happen at any point for like a multiple amount of reasons, like loads of reasons, and sometimes you can't pinpoint how it happened or why it happened. But if you follow these steps, hopefully we can prevent it from happening. And yeah, just keep your ropes, like I said, kind of lasting you a lifetime. So let's get straight into this, peeps. The first point I want to touch on is rope length. Okay, so most of the beginners out there or intermediates who are having troubles with their rope techniques, their kind of like tricks or their combinations or what they want to do, sometimes even rope breaks as well, is always down to the fact that their rope is actually too long. Now what that does is, when your rope's too long, peeps, is that the bottom of the rope, when it's hitting the floor, is just dragging, it's creating a long drag. If you imagine this being the bottom of the floor, it's kind of just dragging along the floor until you get that next revolution. And all that does is just send like shocks up and down the rope and puts a lot of pressure and friction at the base of your handle. Your rope's just working too hard to get around. So first point of call is just shorten your rope. You want to just have a little kind of quick clip on the floor. I've done sizing videos before, so go back and check those. But that generally leads to a lot of problems when like the beginners, they have their rope too long, and it just makes everything slower. It makes crossovers, double unders. It just makes everything break down for no reason. So check that out. And the kind of second point to that, so point kind of 1B really, is the fact that when beginners are kind of rotating their rope, they will keep their hands usually like this. I've seen a lot of beginners do this, where their thumbs are kind of going sideways and they're rotating like this. Now what that does is, imagine this is the rope handle, you're spinning the rope on this type of axis, which again is just putting so much pressure at the base of the handle. The rope is going kind of at a right angle nearly sometimes, and like I said, you're just gonna create friction and it's gonna cause a snap or a break or really bad revolutions and arcs. So what you need to do is, again, I made a video on this, just change your hand positioning to slightly more forward, and this is gonna allow the rope to spin at the top of the handle like this, which is a very minimal spin, and it just has a very nice revolution arc. You've seen my videos, and this doesn't cause breaks. It feels like it just kind of rotates within the handle, if that makes sense, and it just doesn't have any friction. It feels really nice. So that's point 1, guys. Very simple. Just check your rope length, check your technique. The second point, peeps, is literally how you actually rotate the rope with your arms. Now this is a bit weird. I'm gonna try and explain it to you. It probably would have been easier if I was outside, to be honest, but it's just too cold right now. But beginners tend to slap the rope down. When they're spinning their rope, they're literally slapping the rope because they don't have kind of controlled revolutions or really smooth revolutions. And when you slap the rope down, peeps, all that's gonna happen is the fact that when you are trying to do double unders or crossovers or very fast, high impact kind of moves, again, especially when your rope's too long, if you've got this slapping motion, naturally you're just going to damage your rope. You're not giving the rope the right kind of movement it needs to clip the floor and get that revolution. Okay, so point number 2 is just all about how you rotate. Just keep a really nice, cool action. Don't slap your rope. There's a very big difference between slapping double unders along the floor and you can hear the slap, as opposed to just kind of like just moving freely through the air. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. Use mirrors, use videos, check my techniques, and that should really help you kind of, again, maximize the life of your ropes. The third point, guys, I'm really whizzing through this. I'm impressed. I'm gonna put this one to the side. The third point is how you store your ropes. Now, I see this so often, right? People get their ropes, and the first thing they do is they scrunch it up like this when they finish their workout, when they're about to go to the workout, they stick it in their bag, they take it out, and they're like, oh, my rope's tangled and blah, blah, blah. Like, the reason is because of the way you're kind of putting the bag or how you're kind of treating the rope, man. What you need to do, I'm getting really passionate about this. What you need to do is, first of all, try and buy one of these. This is the kind of mini money rope bag. If you don't have one of these, you can find another one. But what you can do is you can put your rope in this. You can like store it in this. But when you do store it, you can store it how I always store it, which is like a kind of loop, right? I'm gonna show you how to do this quickly, guys. All you need to do is get your kind of ropes in one hand. So I hold it in my left hand. You got your right hand on the rope, and all you're gonna do is just create loops like this, okay? So it creates a loop like that, okay? What you don't want to do, what I see so many people doing, and it hurts me, it pains me when I see it, which is rotate the rope around the handle. That is just a rope, it's just gonna kill your rope. It's gonna create kinks, it's not gonna have just nice feel when you take it out and start skipping. You wanna just get the rope and just create a loop like this, all right? Simple as that. And then once you've got that kind of loop going on, you can then put it into your little bag, and then you're on your way. That is just good practice. Just don't stuff it in your bag, all right? Point number 4, guys, let me move this aside. Point number 4 is about temperature, okay? There's certain people who are living in colder temperatures, and what they do is they either store their rope in cold temperatures, they leave it in the car, they leave it on the patio, in the garden, then they pick it up. Cold temperatures will basically kill this rope. The molecules and atoms and things that make up this PVC and vinyl do not like super cold temperature. So what you wanna do is just store it in a warm place. If you have to skip outside, I would recommend, guys, honestly, not skipping for too long, because the cold weather is just gonna, again, murder your rope. Try and find somewhere indoors, the gym or whatever it is, inside your house, just somewhere warm, because it's just not really meant for super cold temperatures. The sort of second point or third point to this really is, you know, if you do feel like your rope's too cold, people are thinking to kind of boil their ropes. Like, I've heard this now. People are just dumping their ropes, boiling them, and they're thinking that's gonna help. Do not do this, please do not do this, guys. You're gonna, again, mess up the PVC. It's gonna become all stretchy, elasticy. You don't want that, okay? If you do wanna do anything with water, just put it in kind of lukewarm water, warm it up if you want, like this, if it has been exposed to really cold temperatures, and that will kind of remove any kinks or any kind of horrible tangles that you might get when it does get exposed to very, very cold weather. The 5th point, which I've left till last, it's most obvious. I've got through this video very quickly, but the 5th point is how, you know, it's the surface that you guys skip on, right? And I talk about this all the time, but if you are gonna skip on concrete, you are asking for trouble. This is a super fast plastic vinyl speed rope, peeps, yeah? Like, it is not metal, it's not steel. When it hits concrete or asphalt or tiled flooring, hardwood flooring, again, you're creating an impact that it doesn't really want. So stay off hard flooring, concrete flooring, look for a matted surface, look for a mat. You know, we've got the Rush mats here, that's why we created them. But that is what they're made for, man. When people, you know, talk about skipping, they find it very synonymous with boxing. And in boxing gyms, you don't find concrete. You know, they're either in the ring or they're kind of off the ring on the mats. And that's what these ropes are made for. You know, you can skip with a metal wired rope, but even those that are coated with plastic or have a kind of plastic coating, they will shred as well, just simply because concrete just will murder this rope in general. So that said, guys, just try and stay off concrete. You know, keep the length, the right length. Don't keep it too long for no reason. Don't scrunch it up, store it correctly, stay in warmer climates, or in terms of kind of just keeping it in warmer climates. If you do live in a cold country, like I said, you can warm the rope up a little bit. But these are the kind of small points and key points that I want you guys to think about. If there's anything else that I might have missed, do leave me a comment down below. I'm sure there's so many more, and I'd love you guys to share it. And I hopefully kind of reached a lot of people out there, because I'm not just speaking on behalf of Rush Athletics, I'm speaking on behalf of all the other rope brands out there, because this is a common issue on how to kind of care for your ropes. You know, if you want as well, like if you can't roll it up, then just hang it on the door frame overnight. That again will create the rope to kind of fall naturally and keep its like nice shape and stuff without tangling. That said, I've just got a knot in here right now, but yeah, because that, you see what happens when you scrunch it up. This is where you just get knots out of nowhere. But like, just look after your ropes, people, man. That's all I ask for you. They're good ropes, yeah, you look after your ropes, they'll look after you, and they'll get you flying, boss, I promise you. So without further ado, I'm gonna leave it there, and I'll see you in that next video, peeps. We've got a tutorial coming up tomorrow. It's gonna be a sick one, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So without further ado, take care of yourself, skip the treadmill, stay safe, peace.